So today, I'm going to tackle a bit of gardening. We had all these jobs, or we have all these jobs lined up for winter. Being in Tassie, a lot of gardening jobs are easier in winter. For instance, pulling weeds, the ground's a lot softer and they come out a lot easier. But the weather is another thing. Yeah, the weather's not always in your favour. So even though it's overcast today, I thought it's time to get out and do at least one little job. I'm not going to think about all the big jobs that we've got to do out there, or I'll never get out. So I'm just going to go and do one little job. And I think Dudley's going to come and help me. You coming, Dudley? Good boy. Oh, did you have a good sleep? Hey? Yeah? So you can see behind me, if I just move this way, camera will follow, hopefully, there's a few tree ferns or man ferns. They don't have a lot of dead fronds this year, so not as big a job as I thought, but they do have a few. So I'm just going to chop them off and make them look a bit neater. Okay, Dudley, well, your first lesson as a just you watch me fix it coaster is not to bump the camera, okay? Good boy. So I'm just going to cut off these little dead ferns. It's 5 degrees today outside, but there's absolutely no wind, so it's actually quite nice. All right, that's just about done already. And this one actually has a foxglove, or a couple of foxgloves growing in the top of it. I'm just going to pull that out because foxgloves are really quite big plants and we don't want that growing out of there this summer. Definitely not. It's another one there. I'm trying to make sure I get the roots. There we go. That's much better. Dudley, off the garden. I said to my husband, the best thing about getting Dudley now is the gardens are a mess. So if we teach him to stay off the gardens while they're messy, hopefully once we've rejuvenated them a little, he won't trample them. What's our odds, do you reckon? So this one actually hasn't got a lot of dead brush. So what I might do is just pull these leaves out of the crown. And the crown is where it soaks up water, so I'm just going to get rid of these dead leaves so it doesn't encourage fungus or bacteria. I don't know whether it would, but they look better without all that dead leaves in the top, I think. Anyway, so that's that done. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this one off at the base. Hey, Dudley, off the garden. So that one actually was a bit green, but it was pretty dead around the base. So, hey, off the garden, over here. Come on, off the garden. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Let's get those dead leaves out. Hey Dudley, what are you doing on the garden? You sneaky boy. Sneaky boy. Yeah, totally oblivious, wasn't I? That's the trouble. So there's a couple of fronds here. They are quite green too, but they're encroaching on the lawn and they're going to be in the way of the lawnmower, so off they come. So I'm pretty happy with that one. I'm going to move on to the third one. Okay, so this one needs a lot more work. So I'm just going to cut off the branches or fronds as close as I can to the trunk. These are all dead fronds that have been cut off as the tree's growing, obviously. So I'm just going to cut these dead ones off and tidy her up a bit. Oh, feels like I can breathe again. What are you doing with those fronds, Dudley? Can you put them in the wheelbarrow for me? Haven't learnt the word wheelbarrow yet. So apparently if you need to water one of these tree ferns, you water them from the top here. So you just put your sprinkler on dribble and just water it for a bit from the top, not too much, but just so that it can run down through the centre, the core of the tree, and keep everything moist. Let's get this one off. Oh, that was easy enough. As I said, it's not a hard job. And you know what the best thing is? I actually feel like I'm making progress. Even though Dudley is nicking off with half the things I'm cutting. Dudley! I usually do this every year, but if you've been watching our videos, you'll know that we haven't been in the garden for some years. And we've paid the price for that. It's going to be a lot of work to bring all this back up to speed. What I do know is if you take the time to do this, they do respond. And in summer, you'll have a much neater looking tree fern and a greener, fernier one. Okay, so this is a weed and it's quite big, so I'm hoping to be able to get most of the roots. Chuck it out there, not in the garden. There we go, there's another one. And I've decided I am going to pull this back off the tree fern, just so that we can actually see the tree fern trunk in the summer. I think this is an aluminium weed and it grows rampant here under the ash trees, which looks really nice, but if it grows rampant up the tree fern trunk, you don't get a lot of definition in the garden. So I'm just going to pull this off. So a bit of a close-up of the mess that's in here. I've got to get in here and get rid of all these babies off the trunk. And a lot of these are coming over from the other side, so they're going to be all intertwined. So I better get started. From the workshop to the edit suite, we're making something real and sweet. Yeah, we fix it and film it, so come along and see this little YouTube world of ours we made reality. beware of tree fern dust. When I was looking after my dad, I sneezed once and it frightened the living daylights out of him. I've always been known for my really, really loud sneezes. Anyway, it took him off guard. And he told me that I sneezed like my grandfather, his dad. He said his dad was known for his really loud sneezing. And that was something I didn't know about my granddad. I love learning about one's heritage. I didn't know either of my grandfathers. They were both dead before I was born. So it's nice to hear all these little stories and find out where traits come from. I think so anyway. I think that's about part of establishing our own identity. That's my thoughts anyway. So this tree fern is actually a double whammy. It starts off in one trunk here and it actually splits into another one here which splits into two, and then there's actually another one around the back. So I don't know what makes tree ferns do that. But yeah, by far the biggest one that we've had here on the property. In our garden anyway. They do grow naturally in the bushland around here. In fact, we've had people on our property pinching them, digging them up and selling them in local nurseries. That's looking better already. Where'd you put your secateurs, Dudley? Oh, haven't done that one. You can see I've got some tractor seat plants in here that are being eaten. So I'd really like to look after these a bit more this summer and try and get them established. There's another one in here. The fact that they have actually survived here is a good indication that they're in a good spot. But I just need to stop whatever it is eating it. So I've just tried pulling these fronds through that way, some that were entangled, and one cut my arm. It looks a lot worse than it is, so I'll have to go and clean that up and come back. It's only done that because the fronds are so dry, because they're so old.
That's the life we choose. Philip builds the future, and Lisa makes the view. So just hit that like a can stick around.
There's always a fix to be found.
Yeah, we fix it and film it.
So just you wait and see. This little YouTube channel is
A home for you and me.
It's definitely time for a coffee. I can't even hold the camera straight anymore.